back with our class on carbon and its compound. We have yesterday done bonds or examples of bonds, which are what bond? Covalent bonds, and these bonds are formed by what of electron? Sharing of electrons. So now we have to study more examples of covalent bond, but we will also study something with which you can know whether there is double bond or single bond or triple bond between carbon compounds. So first write heading hydrocarbons. What you have to write heading as hydrocarbons. I know I gave you two compounds as homework, but that I'll explain along with it. Okay, so write hydrocarbons heading. Okay, it is a part which is removed from your syllabus, but it is required to identify the bonding. So we will study this part. Okay, so what are hydrocarbons? It is made up of two words, hydrogen and carbon. So we write compounds which are made of hydrogen and carbon. Compounds made of hydrogen and carbon are called as hydrocarbons. Are called hydrocarbons. So any compound which has only what? Carbon and hydrogen will be called as hydrocarbons. Let us understand. CH4, carbon and hydrogen. So it is methane. Methane is what? Hydrocarbon. If I write C2H4, C2H2, these are all examples of what? Hydrocarbons. Clear? So compounds made up of hydrogen and carbon are called as what? Hydrocarbons. Now, these hydrocarbons are of two types. The hydrocarbons what we have are of two types. Marili. There are two types of hydrocarbons. There are two types of hydrocarbons. First, saturated hydrocarbon, and second, unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Written? Now, what are saturated hydrocarbons? Will not worry. Saturated hydrocarbons will always have carbon-carbon single bond. They'll always have what? Carbon-carbon single bond. With hydrogen, it has to be single because hydrogen has only one electron. So if they have carbon-carbon single bond, they are called as what? Saturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon, and you know, if they have carbon-carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond, they are called what? Unsaturated hydrocarbons. All these bonds are what bonds? Covalent bonds formed by what of electrons? Sharing of electrons. So if they have carbon-carbon single bond, it is saturated. If it is carbon-carbon double or triple bond, unsaturated. It does come. If it is carbon-carbon single bond, it is called alkane. If it is carbon-carbon single bond, it is alkane. If it is carbon-carbon double bond, it is alkene. EAB. Clear? And if it is carbon-carbon triple bond, it is alkyne. YNE. Single bond ANE, double bond ENE, triple bond YNE. So they are called what? Saturated hydrocarbons are called alkanes. Double bonded compounds are called alkenes. Triple bonded compounds are called alkynes. Clear? So what we studied again. Covalent bond is formed by what of electrons? Sharing of electrons. Compounds made up of carbon and hydrogen are called as hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are of two types, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated hydrocarbons have carbon-carbon single bond. They are called as alkane. A-N-E. Correct ಆಗಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಕರ್ಸಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನ ಈ ತರ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. They are called what? Alkane. If it is double bond, it is alkene. If it is triple bond, it is alkyne. Okay? Now, alkanes have a general formula CnH2n plus 2. Alkanes have a general formula CnH2n plus 2. Alkenes have a general formula CnH2n and alkynes have a general formula CnH2n minus 2. They have a general formula CnH2n plus 2. Andre ಏನು ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ CnH2n plus 2. Let us suppose n as 1. So it becomes what? C1H. 2 into 1 plus 2. ಏನಾಯ್ತು? CH4. So the first alkane is what? CH4. Second alkane what? Put n as C2H6. Third ಏನು? C3H8. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ಇದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್? CH2. If I add to CH4 one CH2, it becomes what? C2H6. If I add to C2H6 one CH2, it becomes what? C3H8. Next will be what? C4H10. C5H12. So formula use ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಂತು. So it is called, it has a general formula what? CnH2n plus 2. This has a general formula CnH2n. This has a general formula CnH2n minus 2. Clear? So the difference ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. Any hydrocarbon which has carbon-carbon single bond has a general formula CnH2n plus 2 is called as an alkane. Any hydrocarbon which has carbon-carbon double bond and has a formula CnH2n will be called as an alkene. Any hydrocarbon which has carbon-carbon triple bond and has a general formula CnH2n minus 2 is called as alkyne. Alkynes and alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons, whereas alkane is saturated hydrocarbon. Clear? Please write. Raghu, pause for a moment. Now after this, we will study how to name. Very good. Naming of hydrocarbons. Heading very good. Naming of hydrocarbons. Okay, so see, for naming any hydrocarbon or naming any organic compound, we have two kinds of naming. Naming is called as nomenclature. What is naming called as? Nomenclature of hydrocarbons. This is called naming of compounds. Fine? So when you name it, you know single bonded compounds are called alkanes, double are called alkenes, triple are called alkynes. Clear? When we are naming a compound, we generally have two names. One which is a common name or the, okay, we'll write it like this one, common name or trivial name. Your mom calls you with different names at home when she is in good mood. And when she is angry, she calls you with your original name, what is required to be shouted at. Yes or no? Otherwise, when she is in good mood, when there is a festival, when it is your birthday, all kinds of name comes, isn't it? Like I call Amo. Amo was called as Amo, then Choti, then Chutti. Some nonsense we keep calling him. And he responds to everything. But when I have to shout at him, it will be only Amo. Isn't it? So all those attraction names what we call you all is what? Trivial name. But in carbon compounds, we don't call it as atom shuttle name, we call it from the source from which it is obtained. Like methane is called as marsh gas, as it is obtained from what areas? Marsh areas or swamps. Okay. And the other naming what we do is the naming given by an organization which is called IUPAC. What is IUPAC? Last year what is IUPAC? Naming of elements. Last year IUPAC. What is IUPAC? It is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Okay, so what is IUPAC? IUPAC is an organization of all organic chemists. Fine? All people who study organic chemistry and are tatas in that, they will be in the committee called IUPAC. This holds its meeting every year in Geneva in December time. Okay, so if I have discovered a compound or if someone else has discovered a compound, then I have to name the compound according to the rules given by IUPAC. Why does they follow this? Because everywhere around the world, same compounds will be discovered and rediscovered and will be given different names according to the local dialect. So maybe methane is discovered and it is called something else in Spanish, something else in English, something else. But at the end it will be the same compound, leading to what? Confusion. So we follow a standard system of naming which is called as what? IUPAC system of naming. Please write. Naming according to source. Trivial name according to source. And IUPAC is basically International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So, this IUPAC na ನಾವು ಏನಂತೀವಿ IUPAC naming ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Okay? ಬರ್ತಾಯ್ತು. So we studied what? Two types of hydrocarbons, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated hydrocarbons, carbon-carbon, single bond. Unsaturated hydrocarbons, carbon-carbon, double bond. And carbon-carbon, triple bond. If single bond, it is called alkane. Double bond, it is called alkene. Triple bond, it is called alkyne. We generally name all organic compounds according to the conventions of IUPAC. What is IUPAC? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Now, how to name? See, when I write a name of any compound, there has to be prefix as well as suffix. Fine? Okay. So see, if I write alkane, alk is what? Prefix. What is suffix? ane. So if any single bonded compound means prefix is alk, suffix is ane. This is what? Carbon-carbon, single bond. If it is double bond, then it is alkane, ene. And if it is triple bond, it is alkane, yne. So suffix and prefix clear? Suffix means the last part, prefix means the before part of the word. So now, for this, you have to remember, for prefix only, if there is one carbon atom, prefix added is meth. Okay? So, iga onde carbon ideppa, and then is single bond beku. So, what it will become? Meth plus ane. So, it becomes what? Methane. Eth plus ane. Ethane. Anthaita. So, 2 carbon eth, 3 carbon prop, 4 carbon bute, 5 carbon, pent. 6 hex, 7 hep, 8 oct, 9 non, and 10 dec. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? 1 meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 dec. If I say it is a triple bonded compound, then it will become what? Methine, ethine, propyne, butane. Gotaita, why I mean keeps on adding. If I say it is a single bond, then it becomes what? Methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, heptane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. Now only 10 kalitevi, and we will draw structures only till 5, because after that you will get the hold of it. So clear? If there is a number of carbon atom to be found out, always the prefix added is what? For one carbon atom, meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hep, 8 oct, 9 non, and 10 dec. Right. First write prefix and suffix. Write first in an organic compound, or just write prefix and suffix and divide it. Write prefix and suffix. Everywhere wherever there is an alk, there is a prefix. A and E is suffix for single bond, E and E is suffix for double bond, and Y and E is suffix for triple bond. Then write, if there is one carbon atom, prefix added is meth. 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but. But anta barabadi double T hakbiಟ್ಟು. Okay, but. 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 dec. You can write DECC also. Dec is DECC. So naming clear? Understood how to write? So if I write suppose an alcohol and I say alkanol, alkanol with 5 carbon atom will become what? I say some alcohol is called alkanol. Alkanol, alk generally we have to substitute this. So I say an alcohol with 5 carbon atom. Pentanol. Gotaita? If I say an acid is called alkanoic acid, and an acid with 1 carbon atom, methanoic acid. An acid with 2 carbon atom, ethanoic acid. Artha idea? Wherever there is an alk given, we will substitute all these numbers. Clear? Now write. Heading barili alkanes. ಇದನ್ನ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ I don't know how you will adjust, but this is how you are supposed to write. I'll tell you. Like you write formula, name, bonding, and structure. Ishtu baribeku. And this has to be more, this has to be more space. So how you will divide? You divide. See, first thing, alkane yen baritira, al formula barkoli. You heading barili. Alkane formula ಏನು? CnH2n plus 2. CnH2n plus 2. Okay. Now look here. first alkane is what? CH4. Add to it what? Add to it what? CH2. It becomes what? C2H6. Then add to it what? C3H8. C4H10. So what is this called as? Methane. What is it called as? Ethane. Next is called as what? Propane. Full 10 vargu hinge baridi. Full 10 till C10 vargu baridi. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಇದರ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ನ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಬರೀರಿ. ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫುಲ್ 10 ವರೆಗೂ ಬರೀರಿ ಹೆಸರು. ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. So now for its structure part, please look. Each carbon should have how many bonds? 4 bonds. Why carbon should have 4 bonds? Because its valency is 4. Okay. So what we will do here for methane? See, C, H, 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 and H. This is its structure. CH4. Now ethane. It should have what? Carbon to carbon single bond. Agoito? So both carbon has one bond. 2, 3, 4. This will have what? Hydrogen. So this carbon is complete. Now come to this carbon. This carbon has only one bond. So then put 1, 2, 3. So it becomes what? C2H6. Clear? Now for C3H8. I'm drawing it here. First thing, always make what? Carbon-carbon single bond. How many? This carbon has one bond. So 2, 3, 4. This carbon has how many bonds? 2 bonds. So 3 and 4. This carbon has how many bonds? 1 bond. So 2, 3, 4. Put what? H. And count and see whether your formula and hydrogen matches. Let us see. C3H 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is what? C3H8. Like this. Make till decade. You can make single, 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 and each carbon should have how many bonds? 4 bonds. Please make. So we have to write like this structure still decade. So what we learned atom prefix added is meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 non, 10 dec. If there is carbon-carbon single bond, it is an ane. If it is double bond, it is ene. If it is triple bond, it is YNE or ine. Okay, we wrote 10 saturated hydrocarbons called alkanes. Now bonding. There are my heading baridi. Bonding in alkanes. So this was my homework yesterday what I gave. So we will try bonding in alkane. Okay, so what? First thing, we have to show bonding in C2H6. What is C2H6 called as? Ethane. Because it has how many carbon atoms? 2 carbon atoms. So first carbon, it has got 2, 4. Hydrogen, it is 1. Correct? So what we will write? 2 carbon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? It reacts with how many hydrogen? 6 hydrogen. You know how the structure looks now. How the structure looks? You know there is carbon-carbon single bond. So we will draw here this carbon and this carbon. It has what? hydrogen, isn't it? So we will get our hydrogen here. Now see, this carbon is now 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Satisfied? Now come to this carbon. So this will also have hydrogen. This carbon also has 8. So my final structure becomes what? What you do? H, 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 H and H. So this is the bonding in ethane. Correct? Now you are supposed to draw bonding in propane, bonding in butane, bonding in pentane. Okay? These three you have to draw exactly like this. Understood now? This structure munde itkondu draw madbeku. Okay? After that, homework for tomorrow along with these three is you will write the heading alkene. Name, formula, name and the structure. Alkene madavaga what you should remember is you will never put double bond everywhere. Suppose I am writing C4H8. It is an alkene, isn't it? CnH2n. Suppose I have taken N as 4. So C4H8. Okay? So, yavagu nodi 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon to carbon, first carbon double bond hakpudi. Mattogtiri. Okay? So, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Count the number of carbon atom. Hydrogen atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only at one place there will be carbon-carbon double bond. All other places there will be carbon-carbon single bond. It's not that as soon as I say alkene everything becomes double bonded. Only one place it becomes double bonded. For you all at this stage, because you are learning it for the first time, put the double bond between the first and the second carbon atom. Is it clear? So you have to write, you have to draw all these three and you have to write name, alkene, formula on the top, CnH2n. And you will write from methene till decene, formula and the structures like this. This is your homework for tomorrow. Fine? Okay. Thank you.